come out today for a quick cast. This will be my last day of fishing this year, so that's the end of my trout fishing. I didn't get much salmon fishing done the way things worked out, you know. And I thought I would come here. As anybody who's watched my previous videos know, this loch can produce good quality trout, but very, very few of them. I mean, I think there's lots in here. They're so hard to catch. I guess they probably have lots of good feeding, you know. But it's a good spot for a cup of tea. I like it as a loch, you know, all the nice wee islands and stuff. It's sort of an attractive spot to fish, you know? But I couldn't say that I'm going to catch a fish, I'm afraid. Last day I was here, I saw a fish, and that was like really remarkable, you know. So my review of the season is it's been a weird season. There's been no water all the back end, which is when I like to do my salmon fishing. So I fished one day and had one salmon, which was like one of only two salmon that came for the whole system in the month. Just came because there's no water, you know. I did fish for springers early in the year. I had a couple of days, but Lewis doesn't get spring fish, so it's a kind of, I mean, it's, you know, it's an interesting day out, but the chances of fish are so slim, and I managed to sort of fail to hook one, which is just remarkable, you know. There was only one caught for the whole island for the whole of the spring season. So to put it in perspective, you know, they are extremely rare. And since I've been here in September, the wind has been the northeast. It's just been horrendous, cold, northeast, blue sky. Some days have been really warm and sunny often. So there've been very few days really, you know, that you would have said was a good day for trout fishing. And I mean, I've picked up a few fish here and there, but it's certainly, the conditions have been far from ideal, or even far from what would encourage you to go out and have a cast, you know. However, it's the way it goes. Every season's different. But if I had to say, I would say this season has had the worst weather at this back end, you know, that I've ever experienced. And as I understand it, the rest of the country got plenty of water, just that the clouds kind of orbited around us here in Lewis, you know. I mean, even some of the islands further south in the Hebrides got decent weather. Moved along a wee bit just here, see if I can move a fish off of here. I'm not immediately hopeful, let's put it that way, but I think the fish in this loch are always on the move, is my take on them. So I think in a strange way, you're not so much, well, I don't know, but you're waiting for a fish to come to you. So you're not, it doesn't seem in this loch like you're hunting down kind of fish with a territory, so much as you're waiting for a fish to move along and find you, you know. So I often wonder in this loch if it isn't better just to stand in one place all day in the hope that eventually it comes your way, you know. And no idea if that'll work out or not. So, really, this hasn't been very successful. I'm just going to move here again. I don't know why exactly, but I wonder, would this be a wibbly one? Ah, it's a wibbly one. Don't want to stand that. And I'm starting to feel like it's time to think about lunch, you know. Because it's good to have priorities, I think. So I had some lunch, and I've got the stove on now. I'm going to make a wee cup of tea. We'll see how that goes. But it's a shame to think this will be the last wee cup of tea beside the loch this year. You know, that really annoys me. I'd like to just keep going, you know, but it's that time of year again. Everything already feels like it's stopped, you know. And if you look behind, I don't know, can you see how dead the moor is and whatnot, you know. One thing I did notice was that the bees have kept going quite long this year. It's funny how some years some things happen early and some things happen late, but the bees are still buzzing about. But yet other things happen, you know, there was snow in the cairncorms really early this year and all these things. So funny year, you know, and every year is. As somebody once said, any month that didn't set a record would be a record month. And with the conditions and the way everybody behaves, all the little bees and stags and so on out in the moor and the fish and all these creatures, it's very interesting. So that's the tea nearly boiled, and I'm going to sit and take in the view. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'll maybe have boiling over. I'm going to sit and take in the view and have a drink of tea once it's brewed, and plan what I'm going to do next, you know. So I've just had a wee bite of lunch and a cup of tea, and I'd left my bags on this point, so I came back here to make my lunch and my tea. So I thought, oh, well, I might as well have a few casts off here before I move along. And indeed I might come back here before I call it quits today, just based on my theory that, you know, the fish in this loch move about. So really you're just trying to ambush them, you know. So having given this a bit of a flogging and seen nothing move, nothing, kind of pretty much what I expected though, I think I'll move along the bank a wee bit and try somewhere else, another wee spot, see if there's anything along there, and then by the time I do that, it'll be time for another cup of tea and a banana, I would say, and not be long after that, pretty much it'll be time for heading for home, you know. I've moved along another wee bit. I haven't changed the flies yet, but I think that'll be my next chop and change maybe. I'm just having a few casts here off this point, then I think I'll change the flies and then work my way along this bank. See if I can move anything along here. Is my plan. So I changed the flies to a Barvis Crippler on the top and the leggy Digby's Demon on the point. Give them a wee run out, something different from what I had on anyhow. I might get a wee bit of cloud by the looks of things, and that would be maybe helpful, though with the cold wind. In a way, I'm glad of the sun to warm me up, you know. But it might improve the fishing a wee bit to get a bit of cloud, I suppose. caught around all sorts of stuff. Oh well, lately it occurs to me what a long strange trip it's been. This has certainly been a strange fishing season, you know. And today sees the end of it. I'm just wrapping up a few casts, a few cups of tea, more cups of tea. This is a fantastic loch, I really like it, but oh, so hard to get fish out of, you know, especially on a day with a cold wind. But I hope you've enjoyed the videos over the last while, and hopefully I'm geared up to do a few more, maybe next season, you know. This year I didn't do any trout videos really much early in the season, but maybe next year I'll get to do a few in March and April time. Really this year I didn't fish until September, you know. It was a weird year, like I say, a long strange trip it's been. So hopefully next year will be different. Maybe I'll be a bit fitter next year. Back on my feet again and going full steam ahead. And maybe I'll get a bit more fishing. We just keep our fingers crossed. But I'm going to fish along a wee bit further here, and I might go back to where I started even. Like I say, I'm utterly convinced in this loch that the fish move, that they tour the loch, and that basically your job as an angler is to try and ambush one, to try and catch it wherever it is. So I don't know whether it's better just to stand in one spot or whether it's better to keep moving, you know. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep moving along a wee bit, and then I may move back a bit and just see if I can ambush one of these elusive fish. I'm not putting in too much effort. I haven't done too much fishing today. Really, I just walked over, sat in the sun, drank tea. Now I'm eating my banana. And the banana's good. And in due course I'll walk back to the car and that'll be me done. So, a bit depressing, see the end of the season. But equally, all we can do is look forward to next year. So I'm sort of managing to get off this wee point. The bank's very high behind me, so it's a bit of a faff. But nonetheless, I'll just a few casts along here, and this is about as far as I can go, you know. So can you see all the wee rowan berries on the wee islands? It seems to have been a good year for them. And of course, I don't know if you can see this, but you see, they break off and they wash up here. And they're like wee jewels in among the rocks, wee red jewels that appear on the rocks on the shore. So they brighten up your rocks, you know. But this has, I think, been a really good year for the rowan berries. So we'll see. Just working my way along here. I wonder is it worth a fly change and coming along here again? Just feels like a hopeful wee spot, you know. So I changed the flies for another quick run along this bank. Barvis crippler and a loch shrimp now. Just because they're both very productive for me. I'm not going to hang about for long though. Just a few more wee casts along here and then I might go back to where I started. A few casts there and I think that'll kind of do me, you know. Kind of feels like the light's going already and it's only afternoon, you know. That's sort of the way of it. So I've fished this loch twice, just this back end, you know, and I've seen one fish move for, you know, 2 days fishing. I mean, okay, wouldn't really count maybe as 2 full days, but you know, maybe 3 or 4 hours of fishing, I don't know. So it's not an easy loch to get fish out of. And I've been called in seeing for coming to fish here. And that seems reasonable. But again, I enjoy the challenge. A bit of sport. Day out. It's a lovely loch. Lovely loch to come to end the season. And of course, there is always the chance of getting a reasonable fish from it. Plus, the fish when you hook them usually escape, so there's always the chance of a bit of a heart-stopping moment, you know. They go completely mad in here when you hook them. And again, I don't know why that should be different to other lochs, you know, but they do. They usually take to the air and basically jump towards you, so they're not long till they're off again, you know. Well, what a lovely day it's been. Fantastic day to be out, you know. Even though the fish have been not so cooperative, but that's kind of what I expected. A fish on this loch is very much a bonus. In fact, extremely unusual might be the terminology even. But I like the loch and it's a nice place to come to. And there is always a wee chance of a fish, you know. You always remain hopeful. Because I've had fish off it and there are decent fish in it, you know. So if my stomach's going to keep grumbling, I think it's time to call it quits for the 2024 season. Hard to believe. And I think I've been doing the videos for like 5 years maybe, since 2019, so that's a brave long while now. I hope you enjoyed whatever videos I put out this year. I don't know what order I'll put them out in. This one might come first for all I know. But hopefully you'll enjoy either what you've had or what you're about to get, and provide you with some entertainment. I've certainly enjoyed my days out, even if the fishing and conditions have just been so difficult this year. Because of the weather, basically, you know. The weather here in Lewis has been very different to the rest of the country and has made fishing pretty much impossible, at least during the period I've been trying to fish, you know, in September. So that's the way it goes. And we've got to start looking forward to 2025 season now. It's all we can do.